Hey, welcome to the show. Every Sunday afternoon, we answer your home improvement questions. My name is Jared Mellick. Sitting next to me is my father, Ken.
Hey, everyone.
Surprise, surprise.
This show is all about your questions, so we're looking forward to your calls.
Where are you? You're in the house. We have an exciting show lined up for you. We're going to talk a lot about this coming week. The Central Florida Home and Garden Show, actually the Orlando Home Show, is coming to the Orange County Convention Center next weekend, and we are going to be broadcasting live from there next weekend.
I am really, though, excited about the home show. We're doing something we've never done before there. We're taking over. We're actually building a smart home on the inside of it, and it's going to be absolutely unique. You got to come see this, everyone.
Yeah, we're building basically it's a 40-foot by 50-foot area that we're taking up, featuring all types of smart home technology. Really, really cool stuff. We're going to have all of the lighting systems are all controlled via your smartphone or iPad or tablet or computer. We're going to have a full kitchen in there, a full bathroom, an outdoor kitchen, a media room with a motorized screen that comes down, sound system throughout the entire house,
spray foam in the walls and ceiling. I mean, it's really amazing how smart this home is, and we've been working on it 6 or 8 weeks, or I mean even longer than that.
We've been planning this for the last few months, and we're building it starting Tuesday morning for the home show that starts on Friday. So you're not going to want to miss it. This coming weekend, again at the Orange County Convention Center, it's the home show at the Orange County Convention Center Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And again, if you call today, you can win tickets to that show. If you want to call us with your home improvement questions, the numbers here are 407-297-9696 or toll free 855-297-9696. Now, by the way, my name is Jared Mellick. Sitting next to me is my father, Ken.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And as Jared and I has said, this show is all about your phone calls, so we're looking forward to your calls so we can answer your questions. 407-297-9696 or 855-297-9696.
Now, Ken and I own a business called Universal Roof and Contracting. We're both roofing and building contractors. Throughout the week, we help with roofing needs as well as remodeling, additions, kitchens, and bathrooms. That's what we do throughout the week. And then every weekend, we come in and answer your home improvement questions. So if you have a leaky faucet and you want to know how to stop it, if there's a leak in your roof, you want to know how to stop it or find it. Maybe you're thinking about doing an addition and you want to know what type of addition pays off. Maybe you are thinking about doing a remodel and you want to know, how do I get this thing started? Well, you can give us a call, 407-297-9696, or you can give us a call toll-free, 855-297-9696. All right, I'm going to start out with an email question here, and actually my computer just died, so I'm going to get to that email question here in just a second. But one of the things that we are featuring at the Orlando Home Show is a bathroom, and I'm seeing a lot of people who are remodeling their bathrooms right now. We have been getting a huge amount of calls, actually, on people who want to get rid of their old, outdated bathroom. And the thing is that it's a great way to improve the look of the home.
Oh, it absolutely is. And technology today is so different than it was when I was growing up. I mean, the way things look, the styles, the technology, and the way faucets and bathrooms and bidets and showers and everything about them is just absolutely crazy amazing.
Yeah, we've done a number of bathroom remodels, and one of the things that I see people, more trends are going to is both Kohler and Moen have smart shower systems. Where it used to be, just had a single shower head and that's it. And now we actually have remote control units that control the entire shower. So you set it up where it has one rain shower, one regular shower head, 3 body sprays. And let's say that you want the temperature set at a certain temperature. You want the 2 body sprays and the rain shower to turn on. Well, you do the one selection. Let's say that you're option number 1. You press 1, and it automatically sets it to the temperature that you like.
Sounds like a car wash.
Just about.
Gosh, push a button and go through it.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot more technology used in bathrooms and kitchens for sure. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Bob in Orlando. Bob, you're in the house. Go ahead.
Hey, Bob. Thanks for
your
your call.
how you doing?
Great.
Question is, where I rent at, the kitchen faucet, when I would turn off the cold water, it would continue to go further over before it would shut off. So they had a plumber come in and try to replace some stuff in there, but it kept doing it. So they were putting a whole new faucet system. But now when I turn the water on, both hot and cold separate, for the first few seconds it comes out a little brown, then it clears up. And they don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like a sediment or something, but it's like I said, it's a brand new faucet, but it wasn't doing it before with the old one.
Sure. What? How old is the house? Like, when was the house built?
It's like the 1920s. So.
Okay. And what do you have? Old copper lines in there? Is that what you have?
I would imagine. I mean, like I said, I would imagine because like it's that old of a house, so it's in Kissimmee, so I could imagine that happening. But like I said, it didn't do it with the old line.
Yeah.
The old faucet that was on there.
Yeah, so a couple of things that it could be. You're saying that it happens on both the cold and the hot side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'll turn the cold on for a few seconds, it'll be brown, and it'll clear up, and then I'll do the hot, it'll be the same thing, and it'll clear up.
Yeah, chances are it is sediment build up on the inside of the copper lines.
Or hot water tank.
Well, yeah, and that's originally I was going to say the hot water because if you haven't flushed your water heater in a while, a lot of times sediment builds on the actually not a lot of times, all the time it builds on the bottom of the tank.
And they used to also use galvanized pipe, and galvanized pipe would do the same thing. So if you had PVC or plastic, something like that, obviously there's not going to be anything unless it actually came from the hot water tank settlement of that. There wouldn't be any place for it to come from.
But that's usually a sign, though, that you're probably getting to the point where where you need to repipe your home. So I would probably start budgeting for that. I had an older house that was at once, and the same thing started to happen. And then shortly after that is when I got a pinhole leak in one of my copper lines. So I would just be cautious and be aware of that.
What about the hot water tank, Bob? If you did any flushing of that in any period of time, or?
Well, the homeowner takes care of that. So, like I said, I've never had an issue with that. But what he ended up doing was he put a Britter filter system on it. For after that, but I just didn't know that. I mean, I didn't really have a problem with the water before. So, is it because they put the new line on there that is causing that issue? You think?
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't have anything to do with a new line. I don't know what would putting a new faucet on. I don't know how it would change it.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
All right, bud. Thanks a lot. I appreciate your call.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks, Bob. All right, let's go to Dennis. Dennis, you're in the house. Go ahead.
Hey, Dennis.
I was wondering. My home was built about 10 years ago. It's got a hip roof on it, but it's also got cathedral ceilings in the main part of the house, which limits the amount of crawl space there is in the attic. And the contractor that built this really got ripped off big time because the insulation that was in here was only R6. It barely covered the two-by-fours.
Wow.
Well, I've had more insulation put in, and it helped some this summer, but I've been wondering about this spray foam insulation.
Right.
If it can be added in the attic, even though there's not that much crawl space up there?
Well, it can be added, but chances are you're going to have to remove the drywall in the cathedral ceiling to be able to do it. The thing about like a blown-in insulation, you can do it somewhat from a distance. As air pressure that actually will blow it out. But when it comes to the spray foam, you got to basically be able to get to whatever surface you're going to be spraying it on. So like in my house, I just recently did it. I have a cathedral ceiling, but there was just enough room for me to get up inside there to be able to do the spray foam insulation. If there's not space in there, then you will probably have to remove the ceiling in order to do it. Now, here's the thing about spray foam insulation versus regular blown-in insulation, Dennis, is that blown-in insulation requires a dead air space on the one side of it in order to actually work properly. So that's why it goes at the ceiling level, and then you need the dead air space above it, and then it restricts the hot air from going from that area. But the spray foam insulation doesn't need that dead air space, so therefore you could spray foam that entire area between where the cathedral ceiling is and the underside of the roof deck, and it's going to stop, a tremendous amount of that heat from getting in there. But if you do not have area to get up there to crawl around, then short of either removing the roofing material and spraying it in the wood deck and spraying it on the back side of the ceiling, or removing the drywall and then spraying it on the underside of the roof deck, if there's no space to get in, then there's no other way to do it.
Well, how much space are you referring to? Because, like I said earlier, I had more insulation added up there.
How much space is there between the where the drywall is and where the roof is? Like, how much space is in there?
Well, at the peak, I'm 3 to 4 feet at the peak.
Oh, okay.
And of course, down to the eaves, it goes down to 8 to 12 inches.
Right. So the area where it's 8 to 12 inches, you're not going to be able to get in there. So maybe what you can do is do it, get where you can from the attic area where it's 3 to 4 feet, and then you get down as far as possible, and then maybe you only have to replace one row of where the ceiling is, one row of drywall.
Where do you live, Dennis?
I've never seen this spray foam put in, so I just don't know how much free space the installer has to have between that and himself and the surface.
He's got to crawl down. He can spray it maybe 18 inches in front of him, but he's got to get all the way down to wherever the area is. So there has to be enough room for the installer to be able to get around and get to every area. Because the thing about spray foam is that every square inch has to be covered. That's the only way that it works.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Probably we'd have to lift out the fiberglass insulation that's already in there. That way he could crawl down on the trusses and spray it. We could always put the fiberglass back in, but just laying the bats back up in there. But
well, with certain types of there's two different systems. There's a vented attic with spray foam, and then there's a closed attic. With a closed attic, which is what I have at my house, you don't need any other insulation. So you'd actually have to remove the batten insulation that you have or the fiberglass insulation that you have. So, Dennis, if you we've got a bunch of other callers that I want to get to. So if you want, we can come out, take a look at it, and let you know what we think. The easiest way to do it. Name of our business, Universal Roofing Contracting. We do spray foam insulation, and our office number is 407-295-7403. Again, 407-295-7403. Thanks for your call. I appreciate it. All right, let's go to Mark. Mark, you're in the house. Go ahead.
Hey, Mark.
Some people call me Pastor Mark.
I recognize the voice. This is my pastor at Northwest Community Church here in Orlando. So, hey, buddy, how you doing?
Great. Well, I had to do all three services, so I get to catch you on the way home. And here's my question.
Okay.
Sure.
I have two hot water heaters. One's 20 years old, one's 15.
Mm-hmm.
And they just love spinning my meter.
Right.
What has the quickest payback for expense? The instant hot, because I'm going to have to replace both of them. I want to do both.
Right.
The instant hot or go solar?
Do you have natural gas or propane at your house?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. So the problem with the instant ones, the gas versions are incredibly efficient. I would recommend the gas version of the instant water heater if you have gas. But the problem is that if you don't, the electrical ones just aren't as efficient. So in that case, then I'm probably going to recommend the solar. But there's actually a third option that you might want to consider. GE and a couple other manufacturers make a heat pump style where it actually takes the heat, it's similar to what an air conditioning system does. It takes a small amount of heat in an area or a small amount of cool in an area, in this case a heat, and it actually converts it with a heat pump. And converts that hot air, let's say that you have in your garage, to actual hot heat to heat the water. So those are incredibly efficient. So you may want to think about one of those. It's called a heat pump water heater.
Excellent.
All right, bud.
Excellent.
I thought you were calling.
Guys.
I thought you were calling to say you didn't see me this morning. I missed church this morning. I thought you were calling me to say that I didn't make it.
He's already in here repenting.
A new house and a new baby on the way. I know better.
Yeah, that's why. That's it. Exactly. Thanks, bud. Appreciate your call.
He's repenting.
All right, let's go to Let's go to Mike in Orlando. Mike, you're in the house.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good,
Great.
thanks.
Thanks for your call, Mike.
Listen, I was listening to the guy you had earlier about insulation for the roof.
Yes.
I've got a slightly different problem. I've got about a 50 or 60-year-old house, and the roof has exposed beams. It's two-story, and I live upstairs. It's got tongue and groove, like I guess 1 inch by 6 or something like that.
Right.
And then all it's got on top of that is tar paper and like a membrane.
Right.
So I have absolutely no insulation. And I've heard different things about like spray foam that goes on top, or like rigid foam or something like that.
Yes.
I was wondering, do you have any idea?
Yeah, is it a flat roof or is it sloped?
No, it's got a very slight pitch to it.
Okay. So, yeah, there's a couple different ways that you can add insulation to that. One is that they do actually make a plywood material that has a radiant barrier on it, as well as an ISO board foam, and then it has dead airspace built into it. So that's a lot of times what we'll do on an area where you can't necessarily add any insulation. Now, the insulation factor
would go right on top of the existing roof.
Yep, exactly. Sits right on top of what you have. And then there's some other houses that what we do is we literally just frame a new roof structure over the top of what is there. Basically, you leave the TNG in place, and then you frame a new roof structure and then put real insulation in that. The first option is less expensive, but it doesn't have a whole lot of insulating value. It's maybe like an R8 or something like that. It just doesn't have a whole lot of insulation. The second option, you can do an R38. I mean, you can do an R60 in the second option, but it is significantly more expensive.
It's like putting a whole other roof on, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Now, with that first option, what was that first option called again?
Well, it's a decking material that has an insulation and radiant barrier built into it. So there's different brand names.
Do you put something like shingles or something over that, or you just use that?
Yeah, no, it has to have some sort of roofing surface on top of it.
Gotcha.
So you have to do it at the same time you replace the roof.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. That answers my question. Have you ever heard of the spray foam? There's a company I know in South Florida that comes in and sprays like 5 inches of foam or something on top, and they're claiming big R values and.
Yeah, I mean we do that. I just had it. I just did it to my own personal house.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, and it's phenomenal. I mean,
we do it.
Yeah, I mean we do it as a business at Universal Roofing Contracting, and
how does that compare price wise with those other options?
Well, it's more expensive, but it's phenomenal. Like, I mean, I just had to go in my attic yesterday to fix my dryer vent, and my attic was literally 78 degrees yesterday. Is what my attic was.
And Mike, it's not that expensive. We need to come out and look at it, and we give you a quote right on the spot.
All right, well, I've got your number. I'll have you guys come by.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
Mike.
All right, do I have time to squeeze one more in before the break?
Sure.
All right, let's go to Judy in Orlando. Judy, you're in the house.
Hey, I have a question. I'm actually up in Lake Mary, and my water bill has just been creeping up, and the last one I got is like it's doubled.
Wow.
And it's only one person in the house, and so I'm trying to figure out, is there a leak? I mean, I know the water's gone up, but it can't be that much.
Sure. I mean, water, depending on your municipality, water has gone up a lot. But one of the things that how you can tell if you have a leak is that inside your house, if you turn off everything that is using water, in other words, make sure all your faucets are off and all of that, and then you go out to the water meter out by the street, and see if the water meter is moving. If you got all the water shut off on the inside of your house and the water meter is still moving, then that means you have a leak somewhere between the water meter and and somewhere inside your house. So that's the easiest way to tell whether or not you have a leak.
And if your bill is significantly more money, there's no doubt that you do. You just need to find out where it is.
Well, look at the usage. What you want to do is on the water bill, depending on the municipality, it's going to say how much water you actually used. So compare that against other months that you've done. And if you saw a spike in the amount of water that's being consumed, then chances are you do have a leak somewhere.
And then who would I call to check out for the leaks?
Sure, I think Leak Doctor is a good place to go. Local company that detects leaks. They're good people over there, over at Leak Doctor.
Okay. All righty. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Judy.
Thanks, Judy. If you want to call us with your home improvement questions, 407-297-9696 or toll free 855-297-9696. Let's see. Let's go to Jose in Cocoa Beach.
Hi, guys. I just had a quick question for you. Last summer for college, I did a report on something called intermodal steel building units. Most people recognize these as the shipping containers that are used to ship stuff overseas.
Right.
And I've seen that these have been used now as homes, prefabricated homes. And I was wondering if you guys thought what would be better, using one of these or just building a home from scratch, like, taking every pro and con into consideration, the fact that these container units are actually hurricane-proof, tornado-proof, fire-proof, earthquake-proof in certain instances. I would like to know what your guys' thoughts was on that.
Well, I think I'd rather live in a house than a tin can. I think. I feel like a sardine.
I've actually seen it for two purposes. One is I saw an article actually recently in National Association of Remodeling Industry did an article about it as well, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I've actually saw some pictures of ones where they actually did a good job making it not look like it was a shipping container. But one of the things that I've seen people use them for is for like underground like bunkers and things like that as well.
I like that idea.
Which I thought was pretty interesting. I mean, the thing is that I don't know if the International Building Code or the Florida Building Code has addressed, the shipping container housing, the intermodal design that what you had talked about. I don't know if they've actually addressed that as an official building item in Florida. We have such strict codes here, and anytime you do things like that, or there's every few years there's a new product, or a new way of doing it. Like people are actually building houses out west out of straw bales and then adding mortar and concrete to them. Anytime you do changes like that, the building code kind of steps in and says, no, you can't do it. But I did see a number of those that actually looked pretty good. My house, I'm probably not going to build it out of a shipping container. I'm probably just going to construct it out of block. That's probably what I'm going to do. But Jose, if you want us to build you a house out of shipping containers, it sounds like a challenge that I wouldn't mind doing.
All right. You guys are great for the job. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, brother.
Jose.
Appreciate your call. All right, if you want to take his line, the number 407-297-9696. Toll free 855-297-9696. It's your last chance to call for